Hey, what's up, the ME community out there? Um, I'm going to be sharing, I think, one of my most important videos. If any of you have been watching me, you know that I'm always pressing strength and standing firm, and that's what I'm going to make this video about today. Um, Let me start with one of my favorite quotes: "Be peaceful, be courteous, obey the law, respect everyone. But if someone puts his hands on you, take him to the cemetery." And that's by Malcolm X. I tend to relate to him more than most speakers. Um, Let me start with the loneliness and the solitude. Saying, Staying strong when you're feeling alone isn't much different than actually being alone. And with this subject of the Mandela effect, we find ourselves in that position, especially in the beginning. Now, since I've been chatting and talking with some of you, I can't help but feel a responsibility to be there for some of you. And all of you, if you honestly need it, I'll be there for any of you. I'm going to be adding my email to my info, just in case if any of you want to talk privately, we can do that. And just so you know, I'll never name drop, no matter how the conversation goes, what's said, or anything. I'll never drop your name. I'll never put you out there. I want to do this because I know that some of you have no one to talk to about any of this. And when you do talk to somebody about it, the feedback that you get from friends and loved ones can leave you feeling even more alone. And the worst part of it is that whomever you've talked to, knows how you feel, and you've left yourself feeling even more vulnerable now. If you don't feel like that's something you want to do, either it'd be talking to me or talking to others, then let me try to help within this video. Okay. Um, One thing to remember is that there are others that feel the same way. So you're not alone. There are others that feel the same way just like you do. There are people that do agree with you. They agree that they see these things just like you do. Black, white collar, blue collar. That there's no borders within this. You know, um, and also, a lot of you need to remember that you know that all unpaved roads are rough. But I assure you that you're not alone on this rough road. There's others that are with you that are going through the same thing. When you're thinking about the ME, so are others. There's other people thinking about it just like you are. When you're looking for answers, guess what? There's others doing the same thing too. Um, believe me when I say that you're not alone. You know. Um, so when you wake up the next day and you've overcome that day before, the good news is you've made it. But the bad news is that we're still in it. Okay, so kind of give and take there. Um, you know, I think as a group, we've always tested authority. We've always asked questions. You know, but this is where the strength comes in. We do question, and in comparison to those who never question, believe me, you're stronger than they are. That's why I believe, and many others believe, ignorance is bliss. And in my book, that basically means that if you're too blind to see what's in front of you, how can it bother you? It's like missing your brain. If you don't have a brain, ain't nothing gonna bother you because it ain't there. There's nothing there for you to see. So listen, when I say that you're displaying strength, you are. You are by facing it. You know, um, the insults and the people responsible. I think I can safely say that we've all ran into the vloggers and commenters that will poke at your comments and provoke some of your most intimate feelings. Something I found in common with a lot of these people that are doing this to us is that they clearly don't understand that something is wrong. They haven't lived through any of the changes, and I hate to pick on age because there are some young people that can see the changes, but a lot of these people aren't old enough to have lived through the era where these things actually existed. And just like I do, talking about something is one thing. Having actually experienced it that's something else. And you know which one's more valid. I don't think I need to point that out for you. And, honestly, I have a hard time understanding how these people let this stuff just seep, out of their mouth when they haven't seen, listened to, bought anything, or read or studied any of the manipulated items. They're just breathing without sound. I'm sorry, they're just breathing with sound. Um, they're talking, but they're not really saying anything. So let's also not forget that these people are the opposite of us. So they have no problem promoting their channel on the backs of a subject that's catching wind right now. If any of you remember, these are the people I spoke about in my previous video: the shallow, the materialistic, the blinded, small mind thinking and rationalization of something they don't understand and haven't experienced. It's like driving a car when you've never seen one, much less ever driven one. That's why I guess they seem stupid and small-minded to me. But the important part is that we can see through them too. We can see through them just like we're able to see what's going on right now. We're looking around things. We're seeing through things. And it takes strength to do that. So when you see these people and you keep going on with your mission, you're still striving toward the truth. Remember that a lot of these people can't do that. But you can. And in that there lies another one of your strengths. You are staying strong. And now, not knowing why and how this is happening, it can be scary to walk through a haunted house, right? And if you're someone who refuses to go into one, then this applies to you even more. When we go into them, we keep walking through this haunted house, and we have the satisfaction of knowing that there's an eventual end. That we will get out of this place. Now imagine if you were going to walk into one and there isn't no end, or there's a possibility it may not end. How many people do you think would actually do that? Probably not very many. Well, our minds have pushed us into this metaphorical haunted house, and we're going through it regardless of the outcome. This is something most people would never do, and guess what? We are going to do it. We're looking into basically a haunted house in our minds that we don't know if there's an eventual outcome, but we're diving into the darkness anyway, and it's when we're the type of people that strive for answers. This subject has put a blind spot there. It's black. It's the unknowing, and yet we push through it. We're wandering in the dark with blindfolds on. And yet we still push forward. Through it all. And let me tell you, my friends, this is bravery. This is power. That is shedding the fear of what could possibly be at the end. And in that takes strength, which you have. They don't need, when I mean by they, I think y'all know what, people that have seen me before know who they are. They don't need to understand what we're doing. They just need to respect the quest that we're on. These people who don't understand, I feel sorry for them, and you might wonder why. Well, let me tell you. Because if they can't see what's going on here, can you imagine how many other things in their life pass right by them? Can you imagine how much they don't get in everyday life? They're just another leg on the centipede of confusion. Now that is a fear I will never be a part of. And neither will any of you. You'll never be another cog, in in the gears of confusion. We aren't those people. They are. They can't see anything right in front of their face, you know. So let me try to wrap this up a little bit by saying I would never trade what I know now from not knowing anything about what's going on. So to all my brothers and sisters out there, the strength you think you lack at times isn't that at all. It's the opposite. Now, they have something to fear. Why? Because we're the minority. We are what they're afraid of. We are the anomalies. We're the affected. And most of all, we have found each other, and together, we're strong. So, as I wrap this up, just know that you're not alone. You're not weak. You're not really going through something that nobody else isn't going through. And then when you have, family members or vloggers or commenters, trying to expose something that's an intimate feeling of yours, it can almost leave you feeling even more alone. And I guess what I'm trying to emphasize here is that we have strength by exploring these paths, by walking into the dark and not knowing the eventual outcome, by hearing and dealing with the negative statements that come from people that try to knock us down, and yet we still keep striving and still keep going forward on our path. And I guess what I really want everyone to try to understand is that we are strong people. And it doesn't seem like it right now, because like I said, we are a minority. But for us to tackle what we're tackling, it's so much more difficult. It's so much more difficult than what they are tackling, which is nothing. It's trying to pick people apart. It's trying to pick on us. It's trying to make us feel stupid or small. And when actually it's the other way around. These are people that are uneducated, especially in the subject. People that can't speak at all about what they're trying to convey, about that we don't know what the hell we're talking about. But we still strive forth. We still go through it. We're walking into the dark. We don't know what's going to happen. We're tackling a subject that does scare people, but we're going through it anyway. Why? Because we're strong. We all are. Every one of us. And that's the message I guess I want to get to every one of you. Is that we're all strong. I just want all of you to know that, and to know that I see that in all of you. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up and get out of here. So like always, thank you for listening. Thank you for staying around, and stay strong, people. I'll see you soon.